Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of the Double Master Showcase Cards Pricing Index for the week. I know I'm a couple days late on this, and I do apologize. Some stuff had come up, but I still did the work. I just didn't get a chance to record the video. So you'll be seeing this on Tuesday, August 18th, as you can see from down there. And as we can see, it's about 50-50 in terms of movement. Some cards went up, some cards went down. It really feels like a lot of the common cards really continue to go down slightly in price. If we look at like Metamorph and Fatal Push, Thoughtseize, Toxic Deluge, Blood Moon, Goblin Guy, Sneak Attack, Crop Rotation, Exploration, Noble Hierarch, Kalia. Well, Kalia's a mythic, but like Meddling Mage. And a lot of the higher end mythics went up in price. Now, I mean, some of these are just like little anomalies from week to week, like Jace the Mind Sculptor going up 66 cents and like Stoneforge Mystic going up $1. The biggest gainer here is Force of Will. If you recall, on Sunday last week, Force of Will was down to $392, and it just saw a surge and went back up to $499 as of the data capture on Sunday, August 16th. So Force of Will is really going to influence these numbers for the week. Another big gainer, and I consider anything double digit pretty big gain. Doubling Season climb back up $10.55. We had Sword of Feast and Famine climb up $10, and Sword of Fire and Ice climb up $25 or $26, and jumping past Sword of Feast and Famine to become the most expensive sword in the set, where we still see like a decline in the price of Sword and Light and Shadow. A couple of other cards went up, like Sword of War and Peace went up a couple of bucks, and so did Wurmcoil Engine. The Tron lands are kind of all over the place. Like we saw Tron lands jump up to 40 for Mine and Tower, but kind of fall for Power Plant this week. Power Plant's up and Mine and Tower kind of normalized back down, so we're sitting all three of them in the mid 30 range. So it would appear that it's kind of just holding steady at the moment. We have a couple of ups, a couple of downs, but mainly because of Force of Will. The EV for the slot went up slightly. So the EV for the slot is $49.20, which is up from $48.16. So we have a gain in the price of that slot for $1.04. So really all that means is that based on what you're opening, at any given point, your card that you open out of one of the foil showcase slots is going to be worth about $49, $50 or so on average. It could be higher, it could be lower, just depending on the cards you see, because I mean we're taking all the data into account here. So you could open something crummy like a $9.21 Meddling Mage, but you could also open something fantastic like a $499 Force of Will. It's all just a matter of the luck, and that's how, you know, expected value works in these scenarios. So we've seen a general uptick, but $1.04, it's just kind of holding steady at this point. So one thing I want to do is, now that I have a couple of my own product out, I kind of did a pricing of my stuff that I had opened on my channel. So as of this point, you should have seen my first two boxes out of a case. So we have box one here, and I did add in the pricing for the foil rares and mythics that I got. Some notable cards were, you know, just a regular foil Cyclonic Rift, and then this foil Hammer and Azan, which I thought was pretty cool. I also added in the lands because I know they have some pricing influence, although mainly with the unhinged version of the lands and not so much with the Zendikar versions of the lands. Like, they're pretty cheap right now. If you're looking for foil full art lands, like these Zendikar lands are pretty budget friendly, all things considered. So the first box that I had opened up came to a grand total of $427.69, which is, I mean, if you're above $400, you're doing fine with a price point of about $100 a pack. $427.69 is pretty awesome. On the second box, we see that we had a foil council judgment, which, you know, the regular foil is going for about as much as the showcase foil. It's pretty crazy. We'll see how the long-term pricing goes out on that. And then a regular foil Noble Hierarch was $20. The big things here were another doubling season, and Atraxa, and Chrome Mox, and Mox Opal. So the crazy thing about this box, and compared to the first box, was that I got 4 mythics, so I was at a 50% pull rate for mythics in this particular box for the showcase slot. Whereas in this box, I had 1 mythic, 2 mythic. I had 2 pretty good mythics, albeit, but still I pulled 2 out of 4. Whereas in this box, I pulled 4 out of 4. So the higher mythic count really does influence the price. As you can see, this box total came out to $473.92, which goes to show that, like, really a lot of the high price cards do fall in the mythic slot, but not necessarily. That's not always necessarily the case. Like, if we look at a card like Dark Confidant, which is like at $45 right now, all things considered, that's pretty low compared to some of the other mythics like Karn, Jace, Avacyn. I don't even want to really count Force to Will at this point because it's just such a big anomaly, but I mean, it is there. We have to account for it. But even things like Doubling Season. Then we have mythics like Sneak Attack, Dark Confidant, which are pretty low. Dark Confidant at $45 is pretty cheap. Sneak Attack at less than $30, I think, is pretty crazy right now too. If anyone plays Legacy and they're looking for a tricked out Sneak Attack, now's the time to get some. And that's not just to buy Sneak Attack in general, because all the prices are down. That's the way that trends normally go when a master set's come out. The prices tend to go down for a little while, and then they'll come back up, like in the 6-month range. So we'll see what happens towards the end of the year, maybe like February of 2021. But as it shows right now, we are holding pretty steady with the Double Masters product. So I will do a couple more weeks of this, looking at a calendar. I will probably put out a video on the pricing the next 2 Sundays, and then starting on September the 6th, I'll put out a video, and then we'll go monthly from there. So the first Sunday of every month, I will do an update on the Double Masters pricing trends. So just so we don't look at the weekly numbers. The weekly numbers are probably gonna be pretty steady once we get out of this month, and I think just looking at a monthly will be a good enough barometer of what the product is doing at that point. But if you're interested and you enjoy this content for particularly Double Masters, feel free to leave a comment, like the video if you like it, and it would be really great if you're a first-time viewer and if you can subscribe. It really helps me out trying to get those subscribers. And for all of you that are subscribed or that are watching it and continue to watch it, and you think it's helpful information, please share the content, share my channel. It'll really help me out. I really would appreciate it. So I hope you enjoy, and until next time, I hope you all stay safe out there, take care, and goodbye.